For decades, the US dollar has been the beating heart of the global financial system. Every major trade deal, oil purchase, and cross-border transaction seem to come back to one thing: the greenback. But right now, something big is happening. Countries around the world are beginning to turn away from the dollar. They're shifting toward assets like gold, and yes, even Bitcoin. This isn't some distant geopolitical story. If the dollar loses its crown, it won't just affect governments, it'll hit your savings, your purchasing power, and the economy of every country on Earth. Understanding what's coming next could be the difference between getting wiped out or thriving in the new system that's forming right in front of us. History shows us that the world tends to settle on one dominant asset for trade. It keeps commerce predictable, simplifies settlements, and ensures global acceptance. From the gold standard of the past to the dollar's dominance today, we've always had one main reserve asset. But dominance never lasts forever. The real question now is, what replaces the dollar when its time is up? In this episode, we'll break down the essential traits of a reserve asset, the accelerating shift away from the dollar, the flaws in past systems, and why Bitcoin is uniquely positioned to step into the role. The US has been freezing foreign reserves, imposing sanctions, and deciding who gets access to the global financial system. That's a big deal, because it's making other nations rethink their dependence. China, Russia, and even US allies are now signing trade deals that bypass the dollar entirely. They're stockpiling gold, using local currencies, and even experimenting with Bitcoin as settlement options. And here's a twist: many people think the dollar's strength comes from US military dominance. But what fuels the US military? Rare earth metals, and China controls about 95% of the world's refining capacity. Without them, America's ability to project power long-term becomes shaky. China has its own vulnerabilities, from a deep housing crisis to a looming demographic cliff. So, for now, everyone is playing along, but make no mistake, they're setting the stage for self-reliance. And then there's the domestic factor. The Federal Reserve's money printing is steadily eroding the dollar's value. Inflation is eating away at savings, and foreign governments know that depending on a currency controlled by one nation's central bank is a dangerous game. A true reserve asset needs scarcity. It can't be endlessly created. Portability. It has to move across borders easily. Durability. It should last indefinitely without degrading. Divisibility. You can break it into smaller units without losing value. Uniformity. Each unit is identical to the next. Acceptability. It's recognized and trusted worldwide. Gold worked for centuries because it checked most of these boxes. But in a fast, tech-driven world, it failed on portability, moving literal tons of metal around the planet isn't exactly efficient. The dollar took over because it was easy to transfer and use, but it fails the scarcity test. The Fed can print unlimited amounts, which means over time, every dollar in your pocket buys less. Bitcoin outperforms both gold and fiat in some key areas. Capped at 21 million coins, permanently scarce, can move anywhere in the world in minutes, doesn't degrade, it's digital. Divisible into 100 million satoshis, identical in every unit on the network. The only major hurdle, adoption. Right now, Bitcoin's market cap is around $2 trillion, far below gold's tilde $20 trillion. And yes, Bitcoin is still volatile, but volatility tends to decrease as adoption and liquidity grow. If Bitcoin ever reaches $1 million per coin, its total value would match gold's. At that point, it could realistically serve as the world's reserve asset. The dollar suffers from the Triffin dilemma, the paradox where the nation that issues the reserve currency has to keep creating more of it to fuel global trade, even though that constant creation slowly destroys its own domestic economy. Bitcoin avoids this problem entirely. It's not tied to a single nation's policies, it can't be inflated, and its supply is fixed forever. We're not there yet. Bitcoin still needs broader adoption, greater stability, and a market size to rival gold. But the pieces are falling into place faster than most people think. The question is, when the shift happens, will you be ready? Because in the next financial era, the winners will be the ones who saw it coming. The dollar won't reign forever. The replacement is being built in real time. And Bitcoin is already at the front of the line. If you learned something new today, hit that like button, subscribe, and stay ahead of the curve. This financial revolution won't wait, and neither should you.